Hello, and welcome to this presentation of Naamly's upcoming scheduling feature. With scheduling, you will be able to easily manage all of your member training sessions. We'll get into the details here soon, but before we do, it is important to introduce you to the origin of the items that will appear inside of the scheduling module. That being said, let's navigate to the session types configuration. Here, you can see session types. This is where you build and customize the session types that are suited exactly to your gym's needs. A couple of examples that have already been built here are small group personal training and boot camp. Once the session types are built, they can be added to the program subscriptions here. Program subscriptions, in essence, are collections of session types that can be assigned to a member in a bundled fashion. Here, we have the results program subscription. And if we look at the details, you can see that any member that is assigned to this program subscription will have a monthly billing cycle. And within that billing cycle, the member is allowed to attend 4 small group personal training sessions and 12 boot camp sessions. One of the beautiful things about the scheduling feature is that the system will automatically track, deduct, and report all member bookings and check-ins so that you don't need to manually track session types. The system does all the work for you. So now that we've seen a brief overview of the origin of sessions and program subscriptions, let's take a look at the scheduling feature currently in design and development. Here, we have scheduling settings. This is where you can configure scheduling in a manner that is customized for your gym's needs. For example, you can decide on topics such as required waiver signings, booking policies, cancellation policies, no-show, check-in, wait list, and many more. Here we have the scheduling overview prototype. You can think of this as a bird's eye view dashboard for scheduling. You'll have a panel for training class sessions, and you'll have a panel for personal appointments. Personal appointments can be used for things like gym walkthroughs, strategy sessions, or personal one-on-one training sessions. And down here we have a panel for scheduling quick actions for frequently accessed functions. And the nice thing about this dashboard is the panels are very actionable. And by that, I mean, for instance, you can filter the panels to kind of remove the noise and just display the items and information that is most relevant to you. For instance, we have here session type, session availability, location of rooms and sessions assigned to staff, and here are the options for those filters. And we also have this actions panel, which will bring up these options here. And then within this training class sessions panel, you'll have these rows for the time and sessions. And if you expand a row, if you click on one, you'll get this sub panel. And this sub panel can be used specifically for checking in clients when they show up for their sessions. And you can also perform other actions on the members themselves, as you can see here. And we also have additional actions that can be performed in this panel, as shown here. And that is a general overview of scheduling overview. Here, we have the calendar view for scheduling. We call it the booking calendar. As you can see here, we have days selected. This is one of the views that we have. And let's do a top-down approach here. If you look at the calendar filters, you can see that you can go in and select each filter and kind of remove any visual noise that you don't want to see and only focus on the items that you do want to see on the calendar. So that's nice. And then if we scroll on down, you'll see that we have these tiles here. This works very similar to Google Calendar, and except our tiles are very customized for gyms, very tailored to that world. So you can see here on this tile here, we have the gym trainer that's assigned for this particular session, and then we have the attendees. And if you click on a tile, you can perform all of these actions shown here. And for instance, if you click on View Edit Check-ins, this is where you can check in your clients. And what's nice about this is as you're checking in your clients, the system is going to recognize which sessions are being deducted from their program subscription. So you don't have to manually keep track of how many sessions are left for this client and so forth. And let's see if we scroll on down. The tiles are draggable, just as they would be in Google Calendar. And for example, if you want to go drag a tile to a different time, you get these options here for rescheduling only the instance or all instances in the recurring. And another important thing to note is that we have these multiple views here. As mentioned earlier, we have this top row of filters here. So if you want a 3-day view, you can view 3 days at a time. Moving on down, we have a whole week view. So you can see entire week. And what's also nice, notice the color differentiations here. Like for instance, these orange tiles are for like the group sessions that contain multiple attendees. And these appointments are more geared towards, as mentioned earlier in the video, for one-on-one situations, whether it's like a gym walkthrough or a strategy session or a one-on-one personal training session. And then lastly, we have what we call the rolling agenda. And this is where each session is stacked on top of one another. So if you had concurrent sessions, they would just stack on top of one another. And this gives you just a really quick view of what's coming up in your week. So that in general is a calendar view for scheduling. Here we have scheduling analytics and reporting. This part of the scheduling module will prove to be very powerful when it comes to analyzing your scheduling data, thus allowing you to make informed decisions before taking action. For example, here we have the scheduling reports dashboard. And if we scroll down here, you can take a look at the panels that we have: client visit report, class sessions, appointments, attendance tracking, on track, utilization, cancellations and no-shows. This, for example, would be people who have, for instance, booked for a class session and still don't have a status of checked in, canceled, or no-show. So it brings attention to those. Signed waivers, another red alert there. And if you scroll to the top here, you'll see that we'll have a whole host of additional reports that you can view and take action on: client visits, sessions, appointments, attendance tracking, on track, utilization, cancellations and no-shows, and signed waivers. And that is the analytics and reporting overview. And thank you for being a part of this presentation.